Hi everyone. Okay, so everybody wants to know about where is he? About him. Okay, so firstly you got to understand how this became this big to begin with. All right. So for all those people that predicted that, and there was also some prophet who said Kamala um, was going to win. You go and unburden yourself by what has been. All right. So, all right. There's a lot of stuff that got to where it is. The immigration, it robbed wages and work away from everyday American. Then there was all the fake cases. They are fake cases. Go and look it up. So, how did he get to where he is? Oh, plus we had our own Kevin Rudd, who's been posting forever. What idiot would do this? You're the ambassador for in the US for us, and you call whoever is coming in or whoever is an idiot. Yeah, I love Trump's reply to that. That he's not the brightest light bulb, or he's not the brightest bulb. All right, but we're gonna have our own mega. One of the girls on Paul Murray, I think, she's gorgeous. Someone said to me, "Oh my God, she talks like you." So I had to have a look, but that's what I took away from that. Okay, so then there was a lot of other things. Ignorance leads to fear, fear leads to hatred, then hatred will lead to violence, and it happened within seconds. And I did talk about the female, I've spoken about the female energy coming in, but I've got to speak about it, why it can go haywire as well, which is has. So what happened here is, I'm just going to, firstly, Tucker Carlson 8 to 9 months ago spoke to somebody about the Amish farmers. They were being harassed to be vaccinated when all the vaxxers were going out, and I don't think they went with that. They then what ended up happening is uh, they raided a farm, and that's who the guy there is. His name is Amos. So Amos Miller's farm was raided. He has organic farm and produce, and people from other states go and see him. Okay. So no one cared about it, no one covered it, no one said a thing about it except Tucker Carlson. So that the governor of it's, I'm sure it was Pennsylvania, they seized and they tagged everything from soap to honey. And all that produce was not allowed to be touched, used, whatever, and called him a lunatic farmer. 6 months ago, maybe a little bit less, they did it again, but in Virginia to another farmer. I'm putting a clip there. It's only a couple of minute clip. You can actually watch it. They took all his food, they seized everything, freezer and produce, and dumped all the food. They weren't allowed to feed it to the dogs even, right? So how does this make sense if you ask yourself? You have an open air drug market with junkies everywhere selling it, doing it, all of that. And you go after a farmer who is actually selling raw milk. Okay. So a client of mine and from the US sent me, and so there's a man called Scott Presser. So he did an outreach with the Amish and got them organized, and he started probably something that will go down in history as how this all changed into KAPOW. All right. So he got 108, well, through him and others helping, whatever, they got 180,000 of them who've never voted before, never cared about what's going on in the rest of the country, as long as they are in their own bubble. But they all came out and voted. So that went, okay. Then, so that's why I've got this. This is how they all went to vote. Like, yeah, they did this. So they all went to vote. Then, see ya, Amos. Then another um, governor or whoever the mayor and whatever, it was Hochul, I think her last name is. Anyway, so her people decided from a fan page, someone didn't, there was a Karen that didn't like a fan page and said that squirrel should not be inside, blah, blah, blah. The squirrel was actually saved because his mum got run over in the city. And this guy has a farm that he saves animals, etc., etc. But this squirrel is part of their family and the raccoon. So his home was raided. Um, his home was raided, and this spunk rat was he was crying, that they took the squirrel and the raccoon, pretending they're taking them to check for rabies. Now, you could have checked the owners for rabies, you could have checked the animals there for rabies, but they euthanized them first, then decided to check for rabies. So that was really what they were out to do. So that went viral, that went nuts all over the internet. And that was the big kicker again for the Democrats. So you can see how it was all just unfolding. And then apparently, when Kamala was on stage, every time there was a celebrity, that celebrity is part of Diddy's list. All right. I haven't done enough on that to know if they were or weren't, but it kind of looks a bit that way. So he actually wins. You can see all the red in this. So he wins. All right. They're all in shock, the same way they were in shock last time, 2016. So what happened in the US is everybody that had a hate for him or a resentment for him, there are 4 stages you've got to go through. But in 24 hours, those people went from hatred, fear, loss, sadness. All right. I'll talk about the women another time, because that's the cycle. We're in that 20-year cycle for 60 years and then etc. etc. Anyway, so with this, if you have a look at his chart, you can see that he's an earth element. All right. So most of you wanted to look at it this way, but I needed to tell you that little bit more, as there's other variables all the time that add to what actually happens to a person. So a person's destiny, there are 5 aspects. You can see the 5 elements there. Those 5 aspects are an energy. It's what some call a constitution, that person's constitution. When the doctor slapped you on the ass, this is where you are. This is what you've got. It's tendencies and probabilities, some call it. But these 5 aspects, they're environmental aspects. They're, what you do in life, how you do it, etc. When you're challenged, from inner to outer, all of that sort of stuff. So here he is as an earth element. What he sits on is also an earth element. It's called the earth goat there. You can see it. That is what we call the house of spouse. So the house of spouse means that whoever he is with, they become a friend. They may not have an intimate relationship, but they become a best friend in that way. So that's not what we're talking about, his relationship, but I just have to explain it that way. Now you can see there is a lot of fire in the chart. The year has fire, the month has fire, and the hour has fire. That means that year with the fire is from 0 to 15. He was a thinker. He used to think. And that's what fire is for him. He thinks before he jumps. So he thinks before he jumps. Wait for it. He thinks before he jumps, and he has a lot of fire there. He has many, many ideas. He has a lot of knowledge. He has a lot of um, support. Okay, so there's plenty of fire there. The metal, there is no metal in his chart, and the metal is his actions. So it doesn't mean he can't action anything. It just means sometimes his expression, because whatever the day is, blah, blah, the hour, yes, he's thought about what he wants to say and he actions it. Because there's no metal in the chart to begin with on the day he's actually born, it's hay fever. On the day he's actually born, it just means that when he says things sometimes it is not appropriate as well. But the metal comes every single day. So if he said something later in the day, after, say, after 7 p.m., there's no metal. If he says something before 3 p.m., there's no metal. So 3 to 7 p.m., there's a lot of metal for him. And that's why he's more careful when he speaks then. Whereas other times, but the metal is also his action, his talents, his skills. And in his chart, the metal came in at 18. So yes, he's got no metal in the day he is born, but at 18 to 28, 28 to 38, it was metal. The metal was there for 20 whatever years, which means everything he did and touched succeeded. All right. Then after that, he started to go again saying the wrong things, that type of. It's his expression. All right. Now, in his chart, he also has water, but the water is not in the chart. Like there's no water. It's the water came in different time spans. So again, for him, 38 to 48, 48 to 58, the water was always there. All right. So in his 10-year cycle, we call them 10-year cycles, which I didn't put there. I just put 78 to 88. So 78, which is what he is now in 2024, that 78 to 88, there's the water. The water is ting, ting, ting. This is tsunami water. What tsunami water does is it comes in, cleans the slate. He's coming in and cleaning the slate for 10 years. Is he going to be there for 10 years? Most likely, most of it, I would say at least 5, he will be there for that, because that water below it is wood. It's the wood tiger. And the tiger just pounces, right? Thinks about it, stalls, stakes it, all that, then pounces. So this wood, water by nature, nourishes this wood, feeds the wood. You can see in the 5 elements. The wood is his power. He already had power. You can see in the month he's born, on top there is power. He's born with power. The beautiful thing about the month he's born, that power it sits on fire. So the wood sits on fire, the wood feeding the fire. The fire is very, very strong. This fire is also spirit. So the man has spirit. Then he has a snake. The snake is about, he lets go of things. He doesn't, if it didn't work out, let's try another way. He sheds the skin and tries another way. He just does not stop. There's always another way. So when we look at 2024, why did it work for him this year? Is because the wood that he is 2024 on top harmonizes with the earth that he is. The wood that is 2024 harmonizes with his hour, which is his children as well. In his chart, he already has that wood, which means he harmonizes with his children. So harmonizing meaning they are friends before they become whatever else. That's how it means. They are there for support, help, all of that. And then it sits on a dragon. Now, the dragon with the dog means that the dragon is the gate of heaven, the dog is the gate to the underworld. So he kind of felt stuck this year, like stuck. He just, every time he goes this way, there's a wall, this way, there's a wall, that type of thing. But in that, he perseveres, of course, because that's what he's like. And that dragon harmonizes with the metal, which is his voice. So people are going to listen to him. And that gate of heaven is open. And yes, most of the time when we look at gates of heaven, people pass on, or people get downloads, or people are taken care of. I would say he's taken care of. I'm not a religious type of person, but I would say he is taken care of. In 2025, this is going to change, and it's going to change in an amazing way. And he needs to be careful just for that 1 year, all right, for 2025. Now, 2025 already is here. It came on the 7th of November. So on the 7th of November, the pig came in. It was a pig day, pig month, That's why it came in. The strength of the two pigs brought the snake in, because the snake and the pig, there's a conflict, a challenge. And sometimes what we call a challenge, it comes in early. Most of you, if you go back to 2013, what was happening then, it started already for you on the 7th of November. So don't make the same mistakes, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So that snake, the wood is there, it's power, it's nice power, no clashes, no challenges. The snake is there. The snake will shed its skin. So his ideas, his resources, everything he's learned is going to be shed. Like what did not work last time is not going to happen this time. And remember, last time, every person that was around him was actually out to get him out. So he learned the hard way. When we're looking at this as well, if you look at his month, there is a horse, the year is a dog, and the 78 to 88, which he came into this year, is a tiger. When these three animals come together, these three animals make the healer. So a healer means he can become this, person that raises his hand and things like that. He can become the spiritual guru and all of that. He's not interested in that. His belief is quite strong. So, his church, all of that, his belief is quite strong. And that's because he already has spirit in his chart. So he's already got that connection. He can stray from it, whatever. But yeah. So this year, 2024, that dragon, if you felt trapped, you're in the right place. It's a brash dragon, all right? And you've got to see the philosophical signs of it. Like you've got to see that, okay, you either woke up and, smelt the roses or smelt the coffee. You woke up and realized what the shit is, and you woke up and realized media and all that has not been media for a long time. You woke up and thought, I'm switching my TV off. That sort of thing. All right. And that's kind of, if you did all that, then yes. So 2025, when it comes in, it's one of those years that's like a breakthrough year. When we say breakthrough, it's like it's very deep and it's got this searching nature, the snake through the woods. That's what the wood is. It's like mysteries are going to be exposed. Political world, you'll feel this without even being part of it. And that's why for some people it's already come in, and you can already see that they're lying to you. They're telling you porkies, that type of thing. And I mean, we've got the same here in Oz, in Australia. And, we're trying to do our own MAGA. And we're being told porkies, whatever this guy came in with, whatever he came in with promises, not one has been fulfilled. Not one. Okay. And let me tell you, the bill that just got passed, it's really to get you, the parents, not the kid. You'll see it as the months go by. So, how's that? So, if he was our prime minister, yeah, unbelievable, brilliant. And plus, he sits on the goat. The goat is in harmony with the horse in his chart. It's brilliant. The only thing he's got to be very careful of is when his children might work with him, is they have to be careful because there's a third party here. I don't know who the third party is, but it relates to the children. So that means it's whoever the children are working with. Yeah, someone will do the dirty on them, which then affects him. All right. There you go. That's enough, I think. So now you know. Yep. Good. All right. Yes, I've got plenty to do. So I'm doing all the hours. It's just a time factor because the workshops are starting, or they started already. So I've, I've seemed to have 2025 came in November as well. So normally I don't start my workshops till, I don't know, do one or two in December and then January, etc. But yeah, all right. So there we are. That's it. But remember, ignorance leads to fear. So stop listening to what is on media, etc. They're all advertisements for something. So be very, very careful. And if you're not sure, and if you don't, even if you're not listening to what I am saying, go and search it yourself. Yeah, I'm just happy that I have enough people in politics to ask questions to. People send me stuff from different places, and that's how I sort of then look at the elements and I get it right. Be good if I knew my birthday though. I hope that helped you understand it. And don't be one of those women that all these women are just going nuts so at the moment.